Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. Now this is a video I've been wanting to make personally for a long time, but it's taken me quite a while to acquire all the parts to do it, that being Batmobiles, in both Hot Wheels and Scalextric's versions. Now I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest superhero fan, but if I was to pick one, it would definitely be Batman. I remember laying on my nan's floor watching the TV series of Batman all the way through the 70s, and I think the defining feature of Batman is his car. And me being a car guy, that kind of resonates with me. So his 1966 Batmobile really sticks in my mind. And as a child, I had the Corgi Batmobile, the boat, the helicopter, and a few other bits and bobs as well. And that's kind of stuck with me all through my life. Now, hopefully, most of you will know I also collect Hot Wheels. So I was searching for Hot Wheels a few years ago, and I found this particular Hot Wheels, which is the 1966 version of the Batmobile, made in 1/64 by Hot Wheels. Now, some of you may know, or may not know in fact, that almost every case that comes out from Hot Wheels contains a Batmobile, and they keep changing up the colours and they mix it all up and they mix and match and so on and so forth. It is quite hard to find a really close version of the Batmobile in the cases that turn up because they vary them so much. But I spotted this standard one and I thought, oh, I better buy that because it's so close to the original paintwork that it may not come around again. And if you miss the Hot Wheels in the shops, you end up having to buy them on eBay and they're a bit more money and it could be a bit more of a pain. So I grabbed it and I'm glad I did because it hasn't come back since. So since acquiring that particular Batmobile, I acquired a few others as well. And I eventually ended up buying some Scalextric's Batmobiles. Started off with the Tumbler and it then grew from there. So what I want to do in this video is I want to show you all of these Hot Wheels and all of the Scalextric's cars. I want to take the Scalextric's cars apart, show you the insides. I may have to tinker a couple with them, just a little bit around the edges, and then I'm going to put them back together again and then put them on Ricard Valley and run them around the track and just give you a feel of what they look like cruising around the track. There won't be any fast times set. That's not really what this video is about. It's more about just soaking in the Batman theme and just watching these cars go around and appreciating them for what they are. So let's get you on my table and I can take you through all of this lot one by one, and you never know, there might be a few little fixes on the way. Okay, so let's start with the first 1966 Batmobile from Hot Wheels. And as you can see, it's quite a nice representation of the Batmobile from the television series in the 60s. It's very unusual with Hot Wheels to get a car in the mainline series that actually follows the original prototype because they usually make them all different colours. So when this one came along, I grabbed it quick. So as you can see, it's got the red interior, it's got the rocket launchers on the back, the jet on the back with the little parachutes, and even the wheels are vaguely correct to the original car. All the lining is more or less in the right place, and the general feel of it is very, very good. So I was very lucky to grab this one. I had the forethought to grab it while I saw it, because since I bought this one about 4 years ago in the shop, I haven't seen it since, only in other silly colours. So that's actually quite a nice little car and I'm very glad I got it. And then we move on to Scalextric's masterpiece, their version of the 1966 original television series Batmobile. Absolutely stunning, this car. The finish is superb. All the red lines are beautifully marked. They're all in place and the whole car looks fantastic. The wheels are television accurate with the little emblems as well. We've got the rockets on the back with a little bit of grilling in the back there. We've got a little tiny aerial, rocket launchers with the holes in the end, all the detail on the rear glass, all the cockpit detail that you could want in a slot car, even including the little red phone. There's a little power handle on the inside there, you might be able to see. We've got a little radar on the bonnet there. All the grilling on the front is all accurate. Underneath, we've got the Batman logo, accurate tyres and the wheels. And we've also got a fantastic detailed Batman. Scalextrics really do get their figures right these days. That actually looks like Adam West as well to my eye. Absolutely superbly done. Now obviously the elephant in the room with this particular car was the lack of Robin. However, with 132 models, we can put Robin back where he rightfully belongs. And if we put power to the car, we've actually got lights as well. They're really nice lights. However, there's something missing in the back. Well, let's see if we can correct that. When we put power to the braids, we have a very satisfying exhaust glow. Now the inside of this car is very basic. There's not a lot going on inside. We've got a simple slim can motor, we've got nylon rear bearings, nylon gears, and just a simple light bar in the front for the headlights. So with all that done and said, let's now get her on the track and see what she looks like. And moving along to the next Batmobile in the timeline, we have the 1989 Batmobile by Hot Wheels. And as you can see, this model is also very nicely detailed. All the detail is there, obviously slightly stretched and squashed to match the needs of the Hot Wheels car, but still an extremely nice model and very clear to see what version this one is supposed to be. However, the elephant in the room with this car is it's the wrong colour entirely. So unfortunately this particular car has fallen victim to what Hot Wheels do all the time, and that's changed the original colours of the original cars into fantasy liveries, and that just won't do. So let's get that fixed right now. And there we are, all fixed, all looking exactly as it should do. So I think we can all agree that looks an awful lot better. So obviously I picked this white car with the purple windscreen because the purple coming through on the glass looks just about right sometimes in black. Black sometimes looks a little bit purpley, so by painting the inside of that glass black, it just gives that ever so slight purple hue to the windscreen. So I'm very happy with this car now. I think this car looks the business. And then moving on to Scalextric's absolute masterstroke. My personal favourite Batmobile of all of the Batmobiles, the 1989 Batmobile from Scalextric. This car is absolutely stunning. I absolutely fell in love with this car. The second I saw it on the Scalextric website, I knew that I absolutely wanted one. And when I saw it at Gaydon in the flesh for the first time, that was it. I knew I was going to have one. This car is absolutely fantastic, and it is by far my most favourite Batmobile of all the Batmobiles that I've seen so far in any film or in any comic strip. It's absolutely stunning. It's huge. It's bigger than my hand. It's absolutely amazing. I love this. The colour is spot on. We've got the turbine in the front with all the little blades. We've got the lovely swoop up there with some little grille details there. We've got the top of the machine gun turrets. The glass is beautifully flush fit with this really nice shine to it. Awesome intake in the top there. We've got all the lovely sculpting on the rear fins to the back end, all the lights in place and the turbine. We've got all the machine guns down the side with the turbine intakes there as well. We got really nice wheels, and look at the size of those meats on the back. They're huge, absolutely massive, and we got the Bat logo on the bottom as well. So that is by far my most favourite Batmobile, and it is probably the most impractical car to drive on the streets. But, you know, it's fantasy, it is what it is. So, if we put power to this one, we can see what she's got. So, as we can see, we have some rather nice yellow lights. And on the back, we have the really nice red lights as well. But hang on, I see something missing from this car as well. So, we better address that also. Now when we put power to the beast, we have a fantastic exhaust glow. And as you can see, I've put aluminium foil tape on the inside of the exhaust as well to give it that little bit of extra shine. So there's not too much going on the inside of this car, but I shall show you anyway. We've got a pair of standard nylon bearings, some standard nylon gears, standard Scalextric's S-can motor in a sidewinder configuration. We've got 2 rear light clusters and 2 front light clusters. So, with all that done, let's get this one on the track. So, next in the timeline of Batmobiles is the Tumbler from 2005. Now this car was a bit of a break from the normal Batmobiles that we saw up till this point, I think anyway. It's quite a brutal machine. It took me a little while to get my head around the Tumbler, but actually now I've seen it multiple times and I've gotten used to it. It is rapidly approaching one of my favourite Batmobiles, and this is the Hot Wheels version, the mainline version. Now the mainline version is a bit rubbish, to be honest with you. All the detail is completely lost in this casting, and it's got some bizarre front mudguards which the Tumbler should never have. Hot Wheels make 3 different versions of the Tumbler. This is the baseline model in all different colours, and they also do a middle grade version and an upper grade version, both of which are far better than this standard mainline version. But this is okay, but we can definitely do better than this one. So let's do better. And there you go. I think you'll find that that is a much better looking Tumbler. With a little bit of work and a little bit of paint, we can get it looking a lot better than it did in its blue. So obviously we've taken away the front wheel arches, which makes it look a lot better than it did. It's still not perfect, but it's perfectly good enough for a Hot Wheels. They are only cheap toys at the end of the day, and I think that looks perfectly acceptable now, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so from the Hot Wheels Tumbler, we can move on now to the Scalextric's Tumbler. Now this was actually the first car that I bought from the Batman series from Scalextric, and I saw it after going to the Gaydon 2024 show. There was a trader there that had a couple of these, and I really liked it. So I came home and I surfed the internet, and I finally found a Tumbler with all of its parts on it and it wasn't all broken and damaged. So there's lots of nice detail on this car. Now, unfortunately with this car, it's actually a 1/43 scale, but I guess if it was the full size 132, it probably wouldn't fit around any of the Scalextric tracks. So embarrassingly, you'd probably only be able to run it on Carrera track, and I highly doubt that Scalextric would be happy with that. So we'll have to do with it in 1/43. It's good enough, it's a nice model, and it looks the business in my opinion. It looks really, really mean, and it's very, very accurate, I think, for a slot car. So you've got the right size tyres, which is nice on the front end, unlike the Hot Wheels version, which is completely wrong and missing these little side pods here. Scalextric have got it right. So you've got nice big fat balloon tyres. It's got the look, and look at those tyres on the rear. They're absolutely massive. Really, really nice looking car. We've got all the nice louvers on the back. We've got the exhaust on there as well. Lots of nice daylight between all the fins, which makes them very vulnerable as cars. So a lot of these get these fins broken off, so it's quite hard to find them with all the parts still on. But when they are all on, they look really, really nice. And there's a good bit of definition in this car. I'm very happy with it. It could be better, but it could be worse. So all in all, it's a really nice model. So if we put power to this one, we can see what's going on with power on this one as well. No lights on the front. And oh dear. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. We got no lights in the rear. So let's sort that. So, what does the Tumbler look like now with a little bit of back-end atmosphere? Much, much better, I think you'll agree. So there's not a lot going on the underside of this car, but I shall show you anyway. We've got standard nylon bearings, standard gears, and again a standard S-can motor in an inline configuration. And that's about your lot, apart from the light that I've just fitted. So, with all that lot done to this car, let's see what she looks like going around the track. Moving along in the timeline, this time to 2022. The Batmobile from the film The Batman. Now when I first saw this particular Hot Wheels car in the shops, I wasn't too taken by it. I thought that the design was a bit lazy and it leaned a little bit too much on just a straight up muscle car that we're all kind of used to. And I thought it was a little bit of a lazy design and it took me a while to get my head around it. But then I watched a few programs about the making of the film and the making of this car, and I started to grow to like it, and now I really, really like it. It's probably my second most favourite Batmobile of all of them, because although this car doesn't really show it, the car is quite brutal, and now I understand the concept of the car. I kind of get it. Now this particular car is in grey. As far as I understand it, Hot Wheels have only really done one of these in dark green as well. So we have the grey and the dark green. Now I'm not going to repaint this car because I think the dark grey is extremely nice. It doesn't offend me and I'm very, very happy with it in the dark grey as much as the black. So I'm not going to be repainting this one. It's going to stay in my collection exactly as it is. But it's a really, really nice representation of the 2022 Batmobile, and I'm very, very pleased with this Hot Wheels version. I haven't got the green one, I won't be buying it. I'm happy with this one, but it's a really good representation. Hot Wheels are getting a lot better at their sort of copying the original car, and this is a really, really good one. And then we move on to the latest Batmobile from Scalextric, the brutal 2022 Batmobile. Now, before I show you this car in all its glory, there's something that I personally must do to it before I show you. Okay, with that done, I now feel that I can show you this car in all its glory, because this is my most second favourite Batmobile of all the Batmobiles that have been put on screen and all the rest of it. Now, it took me a while to warm to this car, but I'm there now, and I'm absolutely there. This car is absolutely magnificent. I love this car. It's a phenomenal model from Scalextric, and there's not any detail on there that they've missed out. It is such a nice car. Now, when I first saw this car on the internet, I wasn't taken by it, and I certainly wasn't taken by the Scalextric version. It just didn't come across as being an impressive model. But then I went to Gaydon in 2024 and I saw this car on the Scalextric stand in person, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It absolutely turns a corner. In the hand, it's very, very different from on screen. It's low, it's wide, it's long, it's brutal. It's an absolutely fantastic car. I really, really love it. Now, as you saw, I repainted the wheels black because for the life of me, I cannot find an image of this car that actually has the grey centres. And as you saw, I repainted the front bumper into satin black as well, because again, there are no images that I can find of this car with a light grey bumper, and I think that the black and the black wheels really set it off, and it makes this car look even more imposing. It's absolutely fantastic. The Batman inside this car is fantastically modelled. He's got enough detail to be getting on with on the inside. You got a little bit of the turbines or whatever, or the turbos on the inside that's difficult to see, but they're all there, which is really nice. The actual engine detail, it's absolutely fantastic. There's lots of nice layers there to that engine detail, which really, really brings it out. Look at all those exhaust pipes. So they're all there, all waiting to be snapped off when you get it wrong around a corner. But I won't be doing that, I can assure you. And on the bottom, we have the Bat logo as well, and the usual braid setup that Scalextric do, and also the DP door, or whatever they call it for digital, which I'm not interested in. We got some nice footsteps here with the side pipes as well, and all that nice bonnet detail. And also there's lights inside there, which I will show in case you haven't already seen it before. But the actual car itself is magnificent. Now, having driven this around the track now, I love driving this car. It's not actually all that fast because you have to go quite careful because it's quite wide. But you actually see what it's doing as it's going around the track, and it looks so impressive. I absolutely love this car. So we'll put some power to it and you can see all the lights, and there are quite a few of them. So on the front, we've got white lights. For the running lights, we've got a yellow light in the front. We've also got the yellow lights coming through on the inside of the bonnet. And there's actually a light bar in there for the bonnet lights. So they're not just a fallout of the front lights. They're a dedicated light in the bonnet. So it's absolutely deliberate. And on the back end then, we've also got bed tail lights. And also that fantastic blue exhaust light. I'm really, really pleased that Scalextric have actually put the exhaust light in, because as we saw with my other cars, it is a bit missing, and it is a feature of all the Batmobiles, the rear exhaust. So the fact that they've finally caught up and they've got one in this car now really shows that they're actually trying to push the limits of what we expect from these cars. And that's a really nice thing to see. And also we've got the really nice fat tyres on there as well. So this is an absolutely fantastic car. I love it to bits. It's definitely my second most favourite Batmobile, and in time, who knows, it may even be my most favourite one. And for those that want to see under the bonnet of this magnificent car, we have a pair of standard nylon bearings, standard nylon gears, we have a standard S-can motor in a Sidewinder configuration, we have all the wires hardwired into the body for the rear lighting. We have this light bar here for the bonnet lighting, and we have a light bar here for the front headlights. And that's about your lot. Right, okay, let's hit the track and see what she looks like. There we are, that's my whole Batmobile collection, both in Hot Wheels and in Scalextrics, documented for my personal entertainment and hopefully for your viewing pleasure. And hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me recolour the Hot Wheels and adjusting the Scalextrics models as well. So if you've enjoyed this sort of content, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time when normal services will resume, thank you very much.